Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is live breaking news. Iran just launched over 400 ballistic missiles towards Israel, supposedly in retaliation to their attacks and their pager attacks, where we saw a multiple technological, almost like a unison cyber attack, if you will, on a ton of high-ranking officials, both in Hezbollah and other terrorist organizations, including a lot of Iranian operatives who experienced severe casualties. This is an absolute train wreck. I want to give you the latest on this. Everybody, come on in. Make sure you can let me know that you can hear me. We are watching live footage over Israel, the skies of Israel. I'm going to break it down for you and tell you everything that's going on right now. This just happened literally about 15, 20 minutes ago. The IDF, alarms going off everywhere. Supposedly, the president got up out of bed, or maybe he just, cut his beach vacation a little short because God knows who's running the country, right? But I want to share this with you, the latest information on this. And so there was originally an attack in Jaffa, a terrorist attack in Jaffa, and then the IDF pretty much issued a wide scale alert essentially all over Israel. I mean, I'm going to show you this map in just a second. And then we saw the Iron Dome. Essentially, now you can see some footage. We're watching live footage from Israel right now. It is absolutely tragic. We all know what is causing this. The same thing that happened in 1979 under Carter's unbelievably ridiculous, poor leadership, the worst president since Joe Biden. Before Joe Biden, he's the worst. And now we essentially have the same exact inept foreign policy. Carter absolutely ruined the Middle East. He put Americans in jeopardy. He's the reason why Reagan had a landslide victory, amongst a million other things. And now you have Biden giving a warning. Biden gave a warning. How many warnings did he give to Iran? Don't do it, don't do it. And they completely, flippantly dismissed. They don't respect us. This is living proof that we have no ethos on the world stage. Let's listen to this. This is some live footage right here.
There on your screen on the left, and going up to meet these projectiles and missiles that were up in the air. And you could see when they came in contact with the interceptors. And again, the system doing what it is expected to do and is so well known for in Israel, that Iron Dome system that continues to really defend the state, the country there of Israel, but
Wow.
also
This is happening
the
in real time,
region
folks.
as well. Let's again show you just
Millions
some more
of
live
Israeli
pics that we are
citizens on
seeing
bomb shelter.
of Israel at this moment. Again, the attack happening about 35 minutes ago, and we want to just show you these fresh images that we are getting in from our newsroom right now. We appreciate all our viewers continuing to join in with us. And again, this all happening as Iran says that it fired dozens of missiles into Israel today, as the months-long fighting between Israel and Iran's proxies in the region, Hezbollah and Hamas, have escalated, threatening a wider regional conflict. Israel ordered residents to remain close to bomb shelters as air raid sirens sounded across the country there. And again, more live shots and different settings available here to us. But we should also mention we do have a State Department briefing and a White House briefing on deck here for you, and that we will be playing out. If we do see Secretary of State Antony Blinken speaking, if we do see even the president speak, we will bring that to you here on Live Now from Fox. We're also, of course, bringing you the coverage later tonight of the VP debate, the first and only.
Okay, I want to show you this really fast. I want to show you that this is the map right here that you can see. And it pretty much goes all throughout the entire region of, I mean, we're talking millions of people. I don't know how many people exactly live in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, which are the kind of main areas, but let me share this instead. You can get a better idea. You can see right there, the IDF has issued nuclear sirens, bomb sirens. Iran has just attacked Israel over 35 minutes ago. We don't know what the extent of the damage is, but we do know this. We do know that the Iranians have essentially dismissed flippantly. I mean, almost like, he's just a fly, just swatted him away, all his threats, all his proposed warnings. The Iranian regime has essentially said, we don't give a rat's ass about you, Biden, because you're an absolute egregious weakling. I will say, for the record, and I want to know what you guys think as well, I will say, for the record, this would not. Oh, also, I'm going to share with you Trump's response. So Trump has already posted an official statement on these attacks. So stick around for that. But I want to show you and talk a little bit more about why I think this is happening. When was the last time you saw an American president so blatantly, so easily, and so simply dismissed and bypassed like he was absolutely nothing, as the Iranians have done towards Joe Biden and the United States of America? And if you don't think the president of China, Xi Jinping, is watching, if you don't think the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, is watching, if you don't think the North Korean premier dictator, Kim Jong-un, is watching, you got another thing coming. Never mind all the other sort of ancillary dictators like the ones in Brazil, Venezuela, and other areas around the world that are just salivating sharks. They are literally salivating sharks, watching, waiting, preying on weakness. They smell imminent weakness right now. And I just put a poll, and I'd love to hear from you guys. If you're watching this on the replay, by the way, let me know where you're joining me from, because I always love to hear where you're coming from. If you're watching this on the replay, give me a capital TR in the comments for Team Replay. But I put a poll in the chat. Is this the beginning of World War III? Remember, this region has not seen anything like this. This region has not seen anything like this. Yes, thoughts and prayers. Thank you, Laura. Thoughts and prayers for Israel and everybody involved. There's a lot of innocent people in Iran, innocent people in the Middle East that want nothing to do with this, just like we, American citizens. You see, it's emblematic of leadership, because leadership represents the people. So people look at us. You're an American? You voted for that vegetable and that fraud Kamala? Just like we don't have any interest, okay? Just like we don't have any interest at all we have zero interest in our politics as far as what's happening right now. It's the same thing with, there's a lot of innocent people out there. There's a ton of innocent Iranians, innocent Middle Easterners, innocent Israelis that want nothing to do with this. But I am telling you right now. So I put a poll. In the, we're going to hear from the president. We're going to also hear from Israel. We're going to also hear from the Secretary of State in just a second. So stick around. I put a poll if you think the State Department is about to speak as well. I put a poll up there asking if you think this is the beginning of World War III. This region has not seen anything like this since World War II. This region has not seen this level of conflict, this level of crisis since World War II, almost 80, 90 years ago. I don't know. I'm not good at math. You tell me. I do know this. We're literally 35 days, less than 35 days away from the most consequential election of our lives. When I say DEI kills, this is what I mean. Stay tuned. We're going to hear from multiple people in just a few seconds. If Trump does a press conference, I'm going to cut to him as well. But we're going to hear from the Secretary of State. The State Department is going to speak. We're going to hear from Israel IDF leaders, I think. We're going to also hear from the Tombstone Biden vegetable in chief if they go live from the White House. So stay tuned. And also, I have Trump's official statement. So stick around for that. If you're just joining us, Iran has launched over 400 ballistic missiles towards mainland Israel. When I say mainland, I mean the crux. I mean the absolute crux. You can tell by this chart, this graph. Look at all those siren warnings. That is the IDF issuing siren warnings all throughout Israel. So you can see Jerusalem, Tel Aviv is completely blocked off by all those ping points. From north, east, west, and south, Jerusalem, Bethlehem, all of Israel is under major bomb missile incoming alert. That is what's happening right now. Liz Friedman just said President Biden and VP Harris are monitoring Iran's attack from the White House Situation Room. Biden directed the U.S. military to aid Israel's defense against Iranian attacks and shoot down missiles that are targeting Israel. So we're in a proxy war with Russia. Russia and China support Iran. And now we are essentially declaring war, maybe implicitly, maybe not explicitly. Oh, let's listen into this.
Translation here for you, as it is not in English there, but there is an update ongoing right now from the IDF right now. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. I just wanted to monitor that in real time while I'm up here.
Okay, so we're going to hear from everybody very, very soon. So we're in a proxy war with Russia. We're in a proxy war. Essentially, we're in an economical war with China, and our relations with every foreign adversary, including North Korea, have completely soured and dwindled under this inept, highly incompetent, untalented, this incredible. There's no credit. There's no credibility with the Biden-Harris administration. I don't know how anybody could actually think of voting for 4 more years of this. It's beyond sanity to vote for 4 more years of this. We have a statement from Trump right here. So Trump says the world is on fire, spiraling out of control. We have no leadership. No one is running the country. We have a non-existent president in Joe Biden and a completely absent VP in Comrade Kamala, who's too busy fundraising in San Francisco, a city which she and Gavin Newsom totally destroyed. I can vouch for that. I live in California. And staging fake photo ops. No one is in charge. It's not even clear who is more confused, Biden or Kamala. Neither has any idea what is even going on. Those are facts. President Trump just issued absolute facts. Ladies and gentlemen, when I say DEI kills, DEI is the anti-American, anti-capitalism, anti-constitutional, woke ideology that has created all of this. Biden himself has admitted that Comrade Kamala is a DEI hire. He admitted that blatantly on actions on the White House website. I've shown you that website landing page. It's on the White House website, where Biden has essentially said that Kamala is a DEI hire. And so this is what's happening. This is what's happening. And it is absolutely scary. These are dangerous. When I say DEI kills, it's killed millions of people, maybe not directly, but implicitly, indirectly. I want to play this footage for you right here, even though it might get me. Let me see here. I want to share this footage for you right here. So apparently Biden has ordered U.S. military to fire down Iranian ballistic missiles. Wow. Somebody's watching that right out of their window. Holy mackerel. Look at that. Oh my goodness gracious me. That is insane. Okay, so we're going to switch back here. Oh man, scary footage, scary images coming out of Iran and Israel. This is, again, if you're just joining us, this is live breaking news. You're watching live images from Israel right now. President Trump just issued a statement that I 100% agree with. What do you guys think of what President Trump just said? That nobody's running the country. America is seen as a travesty. They're disrespecting us. I mean, you think Iran, if Iran was threatened by Trump, don't even think about it. Do you think Iran would attack? Do you think what happened on October 7th, which we're coming up on the anniversary in less than 6 days, do you think that what happened on October 7th would have happened if Trump hadn't have been cheated out of the election? Professor Nez, are you a conspiracy theorist? No, there's actual data now. There's actual analytics. When he was claiming that he got cheated and it was rigged, I didn't believe him back in 2020. No. I was like, no, our election integrity is intact. I don't believe it. I believe the director of cybersecurity when he said there was no evidence. I believed it. I didn't want to think. I was a fool. And I thought, man, there's no way they would actually compromise the one sacred civic responsibility and sacred constitutional liberty and freedom, such as casting your vote. You can see the Iron Dome launching missiles into the sky. These are the interceptors, which are intercepting missiles that have been launched from Iran. Over 400 ballistic missiles. No, I don't think this would have happened. I really, really don't think this would have happened under Trump. Not even close. Here's another footage. Here's some more footage right here I want to share. Let me just go here, and I want to share this footage right here. Check this out. My God. Okay, so I'm not a military expert, but from what I can understand, if somebody can talk to me or if somebody knows better than I do, I'm not a military expert. But so what I understand to be true is that the Iron Dome can only block so much. Now, it blocks a lot from what I understand. From what I understand, it blocks a lot. But from what I understand, and again, I'm not a military expert, but some of the missiles get through, don't they? Does anybody know? Excuse me, Gesundheit. God bless me. And God bless everybody who's involved. That includes our own U.S. military personnel that are over there fighting and protecting and doing the best that they can to help everybody who's involved. Again, the region has not seen this level of chaos. The region has not seen this level of chaos in over 60, 70, 80 years since World War II. And so this is absolutely insane. An Israeli, okay, so we just have some breaking news here. An Israeli base was attacked and hit by a massive Iranian attack. So we have a base that has been attacked. Let me actually talk about this. 400 missiles have been launched from Iran, with reports indicating Nevatim Air Base was hit. It is believed this is one of the bases that was evacuated earlier, By the way, Netanyahu has left the country. He's fled. It is believed this is one of the bases that was evacuated. Explosions are being heard across Jerusalem and Tel Aviv as Israeli civilians take shelter. The U.S. is reportedly assisting Israel. The U.S. is essentially, oh, wow. This is insane. I'm going to show some more footage. It's probably going to get me demonetized. Um, okay, hold on. You can't really see this. Hold on a second. I'm going to try to find some footage. But essentially, what you're seeing is, and hold on a second. I don't think the sound is coming through. Just bear with me 1 second. Bear with me 1 second. I want to share this. I don't think that. Hold on 1 second. Let me share this. Wow. Oh my God. So the naval air base was hit. Wow. Look at those. Holy mackerel. God bless all of the people. My goodness. God bless everyone. This is absolute insanity. Oh my goodness. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have essentially, through their DEI ineptness, through their absolute lack of any leadership skills, any leadership quality, have essentially caused World War III. We are in the midst, my fellow Americans, not officially, but if you think about all the conflicts that are happening all over the world right now, not just in the Middle East, but what's happening in Ukraine, in Russia, what's happening in, our border. A lot of people consider our border a war zone. We've got criminals, thugs, and rapists killing Americans. It is just chaos everywhere. This is why it all starts with the head. Once you lose the head, the body follows. And we don't have real leadership at all in place. It is a disaster. We're also waiting, by the way. We have, make sure you follow me on X. It's in the pinned comment because I post a lot that I cannot post on X. But we also have the State Department is going to speak very, very soon. So we have the State Department's coming very soon. And we also have, we're going to see, I think Trump might hold a press conference, so stick around for that. As a matter of fact, let me go to Trump's official statement real fast while we're waiting on that. This is absolute insanity what's happening. Again, if you're just joining us, Iran has attacked Israel. There is a widespread, all of Israel is under high alert. Missiles launched from Iran attacking major areas, including Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, Bethlehem. Bombs have hit a naval air base. The Iron Dome has been deployed. But again, I don't know much. I don't know much. That's right, Howie. Howie says we need a true leader in the White House. I truly believe with every fiber of my being this would not have happened if we had a true leader in our government, if we had a president who knew what he was doing. I truly believe the sitting president of the United States is not currently fit to make any decisions for our country and our world. I truly believe that with every fiber of my being. And the person who should have warned the American public, the person who should have alerted all the chiefs of staff, the entire staff of the major branches of government, including Congress, including the judiciary, the person who has been around him every single day since day one should have warned us. And now she wants a promotion, if you can believe that. Now she wants a promotion. It is an absolute travesty. God knows how many lives are going to be lost now because of this. Here's a picture for you. This was the Middle East in 2020. You want to see a good example? Here was the Middle East in 2020 when Trump was president of the United States before the rigged election. This is an image that speaks a million words. Yes, Dashhound, it's great to see you. We are the laughing stock of the world. Versus now. This is what's happening now. Bombs are dropping all over Israel. That is a stark contrast. That right there, my friends, my fellow Americans, should be a very, very clear choice as to what's happening and what should be happening when you go to the ballot box in November. Holy macadamia nut. What's your message to Iran? Kamala Harris says don't. Biden, what's your message to Iran? Biden says don't. And they completely ignored like he's a gnat, like he's a nothing, because our country is the laughingstock of the world. Thanks to this awful, unqualified leadership that we have right now in our government. I can't believe this is the United States of America. I can't believe this. Okay, new breaking news from the IDF. No additional Iranian missile threats have been reported. IDF spokesman Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari confirms the Iranian missile attack is over and residents can leave bomb shelters. Hagari reports multiple successful interceptions with impacts in central and southern Israel. We are unaware of casualties at this stage. So let me share this. Let me share this real fast. Wow. Oh my goodness. Could you imagine seeing this out of your window? Holy mackerel. So you're seeing live shots right now. Again, if you missed what I just said, it appears that the IDF spokesman, Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari, has confirmed the missile attack is over. They are alerting their residents that they can leave the bomb shelters, and they're saying that there have been multiple successful interceptions, but there have been impacts in central. And let me actually just show you this. Let me just show you this post right here. So there has been multiple impacts in central and in, I guess it looks like central and southern Israel. So if we look at this image right here, then that would mean that Tel Aviv, probably some attacks, probably some strikes in Tel Aviv and in southern Israel, close to the border of Egypt. And so it says they don't exactly know. They don't exactly know what the amount of casualties are, but those images are scary to say the least. My God. Again, I repeat, it looks like the Iranian strikes have ceased for now. We're looking at live images right now over Israel, and missile strikes over 400 ballistic missiles. And I'm presuming, again, I'm not a military expert, but I'm presuming that the Iron Dome, which is very, very effective, it cannot intercept every single one. Now, what is the purpose of this? What is the purpose of Iran launching a kind of almost what a lot of, I mean, one might think, what's the point of doing this? Was it just to save face in retaliation to the cell phone pager attack by Israel, the cyber attack? Was it just to save face, given that the Israeli leadership, Israeli military was so effective in basically eliminating Hezbollah, the major high-ranking officials of Hezbollah? Was this just a way of saying, "Hey, we're not just going to let you get away with that. We're gonna retaliate in some way," or is this just a sign of more things to come? What do you guys think in the comments? Let me know. Do you think this was just a kind of way for Iran to save face? Because it really, if it was just, I'm not trying to minimize, not trying to minimize, but okay. So Iran's ministry. Hold on a second here. We got some more breaking news. So Iran's ministry says that we are in a state of war. The country has entered a state of war, and any content in favor of the enemy and weakening the country, the government, the army is considered treason. And the managers of the channels and groups are warned to publish this content. Here we have Palestinians celebrating. This is Palestinians celebrating the attack by Iran. Oh my goodness. Look at all those missiles. Those are Palestinians celebrating the attack right there. And so let me just go back to that again. This is Iran saying that we are in a state of war. Iran's Ministry of Information has said the country has entered a state of war, and any content in favor of the enemy and weakening the country, the government, the army is considered treason. And the managers of the channels and groups are warned to publish this content. Very, very interesting. He's almost, and that's, by the way, that is the Supreme Leader Khomeini of Iran, who obviously everything passes through him, through the Ministry of their resources and media. Some more breaking news: Iranian missiles kills Palestinians. A Palestinian was killed in Jericho after debris from a missile interception fell on him amid the ongoing missile attack. By the way, we're still waiting on Trump's response. Oh, wait a minute. Here's some live footage. Oh, no, this was moments ago. So this was moments ago. You can see the skies of Israel over Tel Aviv. You can see these missiles inbound and the interceptors, the Iron Dome, essentially trying to take out. Wow, look at that. My God. Oh, God, please forgive us. Please forgive us, God. Please, please protect the innocent civilians. Please, please end this conflict, God. Please. Can I get an amen? Give me an amen in the comments. Look at those skies light up. Look at those skies light up. Please, God, forgive us, for we know not what we do. Please, God, forgive us. My goodness. Holy mackerel. Apparently, the missile strikes have now ended. What you're watching is footage from just a few moments ago. Again, the Israeli IDF spokesperson, Michael Hagari, has told their civilians and citizens it is okay to leave your shelter now. We're still waiting on the president and the State Department, and we're going to bring you live footage of any statement, which hopefully they will bring very, very soon. So again, I want to get back to this. An Iranian missile kills Palestinian. A Palestinian was killed in Jericho after debris from a missile interception fell on him. Oh man, that is awful. There's always going to be collateral damage. There is nothing clean. There is nothing simple. There is nothing easy about war. Comrade Kamala Harris and Vegetable in Chief Joe Biden, you have blood on your hands. We are seeing a world in chaos. This is a direct consequence of their failed, abysmal leadership. Unqualified DEI hires are destroying literally the peace that we had 4 years ago. If you want to go back to the America that we were raised in, the America that we know is true, the America that holds fast to the values and principles by our founding fathers and the most beautiful document ever composed, the Constitution of the United States, you know what you need to do in November. I am not saying this in a biased, subjective manner. I'm saying this as a pragmatist. I'm not saying this as a right-wing conspiracy theorist. I'm not right. I'm not left. If anything, if I had to define myself, I am a constitutional centrist. I believe in America. I love my country. I love the opportunities, the freedoms, the ideals that have built this amazing republic known as the United States of America. If you do too, I would highly, highly suggest you do the right thing in November. Holy mackerel. Again, this was moments ago. Where we saw the skies lit up. We're still waiting on a response. Let me find some more breaking news. So, casualties of war are not exactly identified yet. Just an hour ago, the whole of Israel was ordered to go to shelters. Iran fired their first barrage of missiles, which were ballistic, over 200, then another 200. One has hit a naval airbase. And I want to look at Trump's statement right now. So Trump issued a statement, and let's look at it right now. We're gonna wait for the Secretary of State is supposed to talk very, very soon. But let's look at this statement from Donald Trump on the Iranian regime's imminent attack on Israel. And I'm going to read this out loud. So Trump, this is his statement. The world is on fire and spiraling out of control. We have no leadership, no one running the country. We have a non-existent president in Joe Biden. These are all facts. And a completely absent vice president in Kamala, who is too busy fundraising in San Francisco, a city which she and Gavin Newsom totally destroyed, and staging fake photo ops, which, by the way, I can vouch 100% for what he's saying. Oh, wait a minute. We have an official statement. Breaking news. U.S. defense official, in accordance with our ironclad commitment to Israel's security, U.S. forces in the region are currently defending against Iranian-launched missiles targeting Israel. Our forces remain postured to provide additional support. So what does that mean? That essentially means, guess what? Now we've got our own boys on the ground. Now we got our own boys who now have to risk their life, now have to risk over this unqualified, inept, abysmal leadership called the Biden-Harris administration. This is a travesty. It's an absolute travesty, is what this is. UN chief, ceasefire now in the Middle East. Antonio Guterres says, I condemn the broadening of the Middle East. Hold on a second. Let me share this. I condemn the broadening of the Middle East conflict with escalation after escalation. This must stop. We absolutely need a ceasefire. Seems like it's falling on deaf ears. This is a stark reminder, again, as if you needed any more reminders. Under Trump, Iran was weak and broke. Remember the Iran nuclear deal that was brokered by Obama and actually Tombstone Vegetable in Chief Biden? This, to me, is another stark reminder of how all of this could have been avoided. Just like all of the senseless injuries to American citizens, both mortally and otherwise, committed by illegal migrant criminal thugs, cartels, gang members, rapists, and murderers that have been let in the country and given the red carpet. Under Trump, Iran was weak and broke. Under Kamala, Iran is rich and funding terror. And we are seeing that manifest right before our eyes. Nez, you're a conspiracy theorist. Nez, you're a right-wing nut job. No, I'm looking at what's happening. Look with your eyes and your ears. It is called critical thinking, my fellow Americans. This is your sovereignty, your true sovereignty. All the Russia BS, all the hoax BS, all the election interference BS. They're making you vote for this or making you vote. The only way the woke mainstream media has power is if you give it to them. Your sovereignty is what Ralph Waldo Emerson, Walt Whitman, Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, John Adams, Alexander Hamilton, are great forefathers of not just government, but thought, spirituality, philosophy, ideas, creativity. These are the forefathers of all of that. They are telling us time and time again, haunting us like ghosts from the past, use your sovereignty, your ability to critically look at something. Aristotle, ethos, pathos, logos, audience, purpose, message. You have this. They can't take that away from you. For the love of God, use it. For the love of our country, use it. When I was president, Iran was in total check. Again, a reading from Trump's statement. They were starved for cash, fully contained, and desperate to make a deal. Kamala flooded them with American cash, and ever since, they've been exporting terror all over and unraveling the Middle East. I'm keeping my eye on live footage if there's any other new attacks. And also, we're going to hear from hopefully the State Department and the president. Under President, so don't go anywhere, stick around. We're going to hear from Trump too. Under President Trump, we had no war in the Middle East, no war in Europe, and harmony in Asia, no inflation, no Afghanistan catastrophe. Instead, we had peace. Now, war or the threat of war is raging everywhere. And the two incompetents, I love that, running this country are leading us to the brink of World War III. If this isn't it already, I don't know. How do you define a world war? What's the definition of world war? Somebody tell me in the comments. What is? I'll highlight your comment on the live stream right now. What is the definition of world war? Isn't the definition of world war multiple conflicts in multiple regions at once, simultaneously? I don't know. Ask Google, see what ChatGPT says. You wouldn't trust Joe or Kamala to run a lemonade stand, let alone lead the free world. That's true. I mean, everything he's saying is true. He was right about everything before, too. It's no surprise that Iran desperately wants Kamala Harris to be president because they know as long as she's in power, they can take advantage of America. That is why they have tried to target me. By the way, this is so important. Remember, don't get it twisted, y'all. Remember, we have actual intel that has confirmed Iran, never mind the video, the eerie, ominous video they posted on their website, on the Supreme Leader's website, the drone footage. Yeah, John, thank you, John. John McClain says multiple nations partake in the same war. So it has to be the same war. Okay. Not simultaneous wars, but the same war in unison. Okay, I like that. That makes sense to me. So when he says on the brink of World War III, that could be the strictest definition, but we definitely have a world in chaos. I don't think anybody could dispute that fact. We definitely are in the midst of unprecedented chaos globally at a large scale that we haven't seen since World War II. And so, thank you, Raindrop in Texas. That's a good definition, too. A war involving many large nations in all different parts of the world. Where was I? What was I going to say before? Let me see. Let me look at the footage here. The Iranian footage. Yes. So there is confirmation through intelligence agencies, multiple intelligence agencies collaborating, that Iran was behind the second assassination attempt, or at least they sponsored it, or they endorsed it at the very least. Okay, let me finish this statement. If I was in charge, October 7th never happens. Russia, Ukraine never happens. Afghanistan botched withdrawal never happens. And inflation never happens. If I win, we will have peace in the world again. If Kamala gets 4 more years, the world goes up in smoke. Kind of eerie when you look at what's happening right now. Those words almost like prophecy. Thank you, President Trump. Thank you for all you do. Unbelievable. Oh, we have some breaking news. Holy mackerel. So we have some breaking news. It appears that Russia has demanded, holy macadamia nut, this could be World War III right here. I mean, this is an absolute travesty. It's bad enough that Americans don't have enough money to pay rent, mortgage their homes, pay their mortgage, can't afford gas, can't afford groceries, are being attacked left and right by illegal migrants who are given everything, including complete amnesty, complete immunity from the law and order, from the Border Patrol, from ICE. It's bad enough I can't take my kids on vacation. It's bad enough I can't take my kids to the park without worrying about who's going to attack us, what homeless person, what migrant, what insane person let out of prison and let out of an asylum. It's bad enough we have all of that. But now, look at this. Russia has demanded Israel to withdraw all of their troops from Lebanon. Somebody said the definition of World War III is multiple nations fighting the same war simultaneously. My fellow Americans, if this isn't a sign right here, I don't know what is. I pray as a father, as a husband, as somebody who loves his country deeply, I pray and I pray. More breaking news. So we're going to keep an eye on that. More breaking news. It appears that Iran has also launched a cyber attack alongside missile strikes against Israel. Fake text messages were sent to Israeli phones, falsely informing citizens that airstrikes had ended and advising them to leave shelters. Holy mackerel. So was that for real or it wasn't real? My goodness gracious, I can't believe this. Yeah, very good point. Where's the borders are now? Exactly. Oh my goodness gracious. I can't believe this. I just cannot believe this. This is unbelievable. We're looking at live footage right now. We're looking at, well, actually, no, this is from moments ago. But if you just missed what I said, that is absolutely insane. If that is absolutely true, that they have also sent fake text messages. I can't believe it. More breaking news. I'm keeping you up to date on everything that's happening in real time. This is the moment that Israelis evacuated the Western Wall in Jerusalem during Iranian attack. Footage shows Israeli citizens evacuating the Western Wall in Jerusalem as sirens blared during the Iranian missile attack. My God. So that was the moment that Israeli citizens were evacuating the Western Wall. Footage that you see right there, which is very, very scary. Again, just to keep you in the know, Iran has just fired 400 ballistic missiles, which we don't know what the casualties are, but pretty much all of Israel was targeted. When I say all of Israel, I mean Israel is not the biggest place in the world. But this conflict is an absolute travesty. I truly believe there never ever would have been anything like this if we had President Trump. IDF spokesman Rear Admiral Daniel Hargay says there are no additional threats heading toward Israel from Iran currently, indicating that the missile attack is over. Residents were notified a short while ago that they can leave bomb shelters after an hour. Apparently it's ended, but I'm not sure if that's for real or not. So we're going to be keeping a very, very close eye on that. Vladimir Putin demanding that all Israeli troops leave Lebanon. This is one of the scariest things that's happened since, well, gosh, I mean, there's been so many scary things that have happened. I was going to say since the attack of Russia to Ukraine, or the first attack of Iran towards Israel or the October 7th attack of Hamas terrorists on the music festival in Israel. But it's like there's been so many, there's too many to count. There's just too many to count now, for crying out loud. Okay, we have some more breaking news here. I'm going to share this. Again, we're going to be keeping an eye on the latest from the State Department. We're going to hear from the White House. But it looks like now we got some more breaking news. It looks like Iran has claimed over 20. Hold on a second. Iran has claimed over 20 F-35 fighter jets destroyed in Israel. That's what they're claiming right now as we speak. Apparently, they did hit a naval airbase, so that might be the naval airbase. More than 20 fifth generation F-35 fighter jets were destroyed in the Iranian missile attack on Israel, according to Iran's claims. So I can't confirm that. But that is what Iran is claiming right there. There is some more breaking news here where it looks like we have an actual photo. Stay tuned here. Where we actually have a photo of Iran's missile strike leaving a crater. So let's check this out. It looks like an Iranian missile out of the hundreds launched towards Israel, caused a large crater next to a school in the country. Why is it? It's always the innocent people that suffer the most during war. My God, this is insanity. May God forgive us all. May God bless us all. So Iran's missile strike leaves crater near school in Israel. An Iranian missile out of the hundreds that were launched towards Israel caused a large crater. You can see by this image right here. That's the crater. And then we also have a little footage here. So let's look at this footage. So here's the footage of the crater in Israel next to a school. Yeah, Skywalker, you bring up a good point. You bring up a good point. The current admin will halt the elections due to World War III. I wouldn't put it past them to do something like that because Trump is ahead in all the legitimate polls. Legitimate, I say. I always say never, ever, ever listen to polls because I don't trust the polls. But that's a good point. You're using your critical thinking hat, Skywalker, and I like the fact that you're using it. You're absolutely right. Gixer Squid says Iran would not have had the money to do this if Trump was in office. As a matter of fact, I don't think, thank you so much, Mimi's Tea Time. As a matter of fact, I would say that they wouldn't even have the audacity to attack. I don't think they would even have the audacity to attack. So we're keeping an eye out to see if there's any new developments happening in the again, if you're just joining us, Israel was attacked by over 400 ballistic missiles earlier, about an hour ago. And I'm just following the latest breaking as it's coming out. And we're now starting to get an idea. Apparently, the IDF the Israeli Defense Forces spokesperson essentially stated that the attack is over. I'm going to show you some more footage that hopefully won't get me banned. So here's some more footage of the missiles. Oh my goodness, landing in Israel from cell phone footage from citizens. My God. My God, that is insanity. We also have this footage right here. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Look at this. We have this footage right here. Check this out. Wow. Wow. Guy's just sitting in his living room. Can you imagine looking out your window? This is all Biden and Kamala. That is all Biden and Kamala. Just standing outside your living room. This is what happens when you have inept leadership. This is what happens when you have the worst kind of leadership. We are the lighthouse to the world. We are the leaders of the free world. This is what, just imagine if you think you're having a rough day, imagine this poor Israeli citizen looking out his window and seeing that. I am not, by the way, pro-Israel, pro-Palestine, or what have you. I am against violence. I'm against war. And I know in every fiber of my being, all of this could have been avoided. All of this. I'm not a Zionist. I'm definitely not a Muslim. I'm not pro-Palestinian, pro-Israel. I could care less. I want everybody to do their own thing. I want everybody to enjoy their own freedoms in their own habitat, in their own living environment, under their own rule of law, etc., etc. And when I say the USA, the United States of America, is the lighthouse of the world. When I say the United States of America is the leader of the free world, these are all consequences due to our abysmal, abominable leadership. And especially to Comrade Kamala, who hid from the American public this vegetable in chief nut job, this wacko Tombstone Biden, who's a criminal, by the way, and belongs behind bars, not on the beach in Delaware. Yes, that's exactly right, Skywalker. This is what happens when you have weak leadership. 100%. Yes, Cassandra. I love the way you said that. God bless us all. Absolutely. So this is what we have, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we're dealing with. It is scary. Very, very scary what's happening right now. We're still waiting to hear of what the White House has to say, what the State Department has to say. It looks like now the IDF, here's some breaking news. It looks like now the IDF declares new closed military zone near Lebanon border. The IDF has imposed a new closed military zone along the Lebanon border affecting areas near Dovev, Tezivon, and Malkia. The decision follows a fresh assessment amid ongoing ground operations inside Lebanon. We also have clear footage of Iranian missile strikes on Israel's Nevatim air base. I want to actually show you this as well. This is all coming out as I can research it and share it with you guys. So this right here is clear footage of Iranian missile strike on Israeli's Nevatim air base New footage shows a direct impact on the vital Nevatim air base in Israel following Iran's missile attack. Thank you so much, Skywalker. And by the way, everybody stick around. I'm going to give you live shout outs, all new members, all super chats and super stickers. Please make sure you stick around. I'm going to give you live shout outs on the air after we conclude the live stream. Wow. 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 This is absolutely insane. So we're still waiting on whether or not we have. We're still waiting on hearing from the White House, hearing from the State Department, and I will be sharing that very, very soon as we get the information. We have a announcement from. So here's the announcement. Hold on a second. Here's the announcement from the IDF spokesperson. Let me just share this really fast. And it looks like IDF spokesman says here. This is what I kind of shared with you earlier. IDF spokesman Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari has says there's no more aerial threats. I've got live footage from inside. I've got live footage from inside. I wonder if this is actually happening right now. Missiles launched from Iran towards Israel. You can see, and I'm not sure if this is live right now or if this is earlier.
It's going to be
that was previously. Okay. But yeah, so essentially you have a statement from the IDF spokesperson who says that the strikes are over officially. We don't know if they're going to strike again. We don't know if they were just trying to save face. We still don't know. And now we've got word from Germany. So Germany now has said that they condemn Iran's missile attack on Israel in the strongest of terms. My God, I go back to that definition of world war. What's the definition of world war? So we had this earlier. We had Russia saying essentially that demanding Israeli forces to leave Lebanon. And now this is insanity. Now we've got Germany. So we've got NATO against basically the axis of power, if you will. Russia, China, North Korea, Iran, now Hamas, Hezbollah. Now you've got Germany saying that they condemn this in the strongest of terms. German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock strongly condemns Iran's missile attack on Israel, urging an immediate halt. She warned that Iran's actions are pushing the region to, quote, to the brink of the abyss, end quote. That was from the Times of Israel source. Holy macadamia nut. Things are getting out of absolute control. Out of control. So we have a statement from Karine Jean-Pierre. POTUS and VP convened 2 meetings with their national security team in the White House Situation Room today and are receiving regular updates. The president directed the U.S. military to aid Israel's defense against Iranian attacks and shoot down missiles targeting Israel. So how many countries are involved now? How many countries are involved now? Russia, Germany, Iran, Lebanon. Donald Trump posts from Truth Social, this war was totally preventable. It should have never happened. If I were president, it would not have happened. I 100% agree with him. Tell me what you think in the comments. How many countries are involved now? US, Ukraine, Russia, Iran, Lebanon, Israel, Germany. What about the UK? What about France? Where does India stand? Where does China stand? Where does North Korea stand? Where does Japan stand? This is unbelievable. I never thought in a million years in my lifetime, I thought we would have learned from the chaos of World War II, from the chaos of Vietnam, from the chaos of all the conflicts here thereafter, that we would become truly progress as a society and understand the value of peace and the utter insanity of war. We've seen enough film. We've seen enough great cinematic masterpieces on the horrors of war. I mean, when are we going to learn? When are we going to learn? Oh, here's something that's really dangerous. This is something that's very dangerous. Look at this meathead. Here's some more breaking news. It looks like Democratic Representative Jared Moskowitz, okay, who is a strong pro-Israeli lawmaker, has just stated that Iran's nuclear facilities are now fair game. Democratic Representative Jared Moskowitz stated that Iran's missile attack on Israel has made its nuclear facilities fair game. Moskowitz, a strong pro-Israeli lawmaker, issued the warning following the escalation. Well, isn't that just terrific? I cannot believe this. My God. Wow. So, I mean, this is about as close as it can get, folks. This is about as close as it can get to a full-scale world war. This is not a drill. Again, if you're just joining us, over 400 ballistic missiles fired from Iran, targeting pretty much every major location and piece of real estate in Israel. Obviously, they're probably going after major military targets, major metropolitan cities, Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, Bethlehem, and more. And what's scary is Iran completely ignored and dismissed Tombstone Biden like he was just a little nuisance, a petty mosquito buzzing around, weak, feeble, unqualified, unequipped, no respect. We've lost all respect on the world stage. It is an absolute travesty of epic proportions. How in the world is Tampon Tim gonna defend this tonight? By the way, if you haven't subscribed, followed, if you haven't signed up for our free newsletter, follow me on X, by the way. That's in the pinned comment, because I post a lot of stuff that you can't find anywhere on X. We're going to be covering the debate live. We're going to be covering the debate live. It's 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. We are going to be going live. So come watch the debate with us. If you haven't subscribed or if you haven't signed up, it's free. Our newsletter is free. It's in the description and show notes. Just click on that link where it says free newsletter, and literally you're in. Just give us your best email and boom, you're in. And follow me on X. Here's some footage of, let's see here. Hold on a second. Why do they always do this? Okay. Here's some footage of civilians panicking amid Iranian missile attacks in Israel. Civilians were reported panicking during the missile attacks on Israel as Iranian strikes intensified, causing widespread fear and anxiety.
الولادة اليهودية هذه ماتت خوف لا تخاف يا بنت الناس الموت وحده. خلاص يخرب نور كي.
Why is that guy laughing?
هذا اليهودية هذه ماتت خوف.
Very strange. The guy filming is laughing right now. I don't understand that at all. Well, that is definitely kind of scary. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Look at that footage. Listen to the booms. Holy mackerel. Let me see.
It's very successful defense. I mean, think about it. 181 rockets fired at Israel, missiles from Iran just over 2 hours ago. No one wounded in Israel significantly. Those rockets were mostly intercepted at very, very high rates. The actual ratio is classified right now, but it will probably come out later. So this was a complete failure on the part of Iran again, after the other failures that we've seen, in the region in recent weeks. And this is, again, an historic moment and an historic opportunity to reorder the balance in the Middle East that is a threat not just to Israel, to Lebanon, and to other countries, but to the world at large.
And as we were watching some of that video, that was.
So we're going to keep an eye on that live footage that's coming out of Israel. But you heard the military expert there say this was a failed attempt again, because they did launch an attack a few months ago. He did say this was a failed attempt at by Iran. I don't think that Iran actually thought that they would, at least I don't think they did. I don't think that Iran actually thought that they were going to be some kind of success to this, or that they were going to actually, succeed significantly. I think the reason that they launched this attack was to save face more than anything. I would love to get your comments on this. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. But we are keeping an eye out, because we're supposed to hear from the State Department coming up. And it does look like, or it does seem, as was reported by the leadership of the IDF, it does seem that the attacks have now ceased. But this is what's really scary. I want to share this. So we're keeping an eye out on here's some more raw footage. We're keeping an eye out on when we're going to hear from our actual failed leaders, aka Biden and Comrade Kamala. This is the IDF posting on X. Follow me on X too. It's in the pinned comment, saying raw footage. Watch as Iranian missiles rain over the old city in Jerusalem, a holy site for Muslims, Christians, and Jews. This is the target of the Iranian regime, semicolon, or colon rather, everyone. That's from the IDF. Unbelievable. So we're keeping an eye out on that. But here's something that's scary, which is Russia calls on Israel. Russia calls on Israel to withdraw troops from Lebanon. Russia has urged Israel to immediately withdraw its troops from Lebanon, warning that the ongoing attacks will escalate violence in the Middle East. The call follows Israel's limited, quote unquote, ground incursion, into Lebanon and Hezbollah's missile strikes on Israel. Now, we talked about the definition of world war. We talked about the onset. Is this really the kind of turning point, the inflection point of now we can deem the world is most certainly under the moniker we are now embraced in World War III. A lot of people had different varying definitions. I like the definition that it is multiple nations fighting a singular war simultaneously, as opposed to multiple nations fighting multiple different wars. So we've got Germany getting involved. We got the US getting involved. We know the UK and France are probably next. Israel, Iran, US, Ukraine, now Russia. So how do we define this now? And is this literally the brink of, God, I don't even want to say it. I literally don't even want to say it. It's so scary to even think. It's so scary to think that we're there. But I mean, the catastrophe of this leadership, the catastrophe of Biden Harris has done this. China has just entered the realm. China issues a statement. My goodness. Let's hear what China has to say. I'm going to share this right now. China says it opposes violation of Lebanon's sovereignty. We got some breaking news over here on our live watch here. It looks like there was a potential terror attack near Tel Aviv with multiple people injured. Multiple people reportedly have been injured. And we're starting to see that the sunrise is happening in Israel right now. I don't know what time it is over there. I believe they're 8 hours ahead of us. Or is it more than that? No, it's not 8 hours. I think London is 8 hours. No, that's the live view, I think. Is it not? So apparently there's been some new activity. I mean, this is insanity. It's just absolute insanity. We'll keep an eye on that for you. But China has opposed violation of Lebanon's sovereignty. They have essentially said that they are in opposition to any actions that violate Lebanon's sovereignty following Israeli airstrikes on Beirut and southern Lebanon and its preparation for a ground incursion. Interesting. So now we have China in the midst. How many countries is that now? How many countries is that now? I wonder. Do we have a tally now? Here's what Eric Weinstein, who's somebody I actually respect, speaking exactly of what we're talking about. So Eric Weinstein just posted this on X saying Iran, Israel, Ukraine, southern Lebanon, Yemen, all in play at the same time. The U.S. has something like 11 carrier strike groups. At some point, this becomes opportunistic. As the game theory goes, multipolar, similar to when police forces or hospitals are stretched by surge demand. Who is the de facto commander-in-chief? It can't be Biden. Same question we've been asking since 2020. Let's hope it doesn't go the wrong way. What do you guys think of that? That's interesting. What do you guys think of that comment? Africa. Thank you, Joyce. I don't want to forget Africa. Did they just launch another missile? Did they really? Mac attack? You have that confirmation? Let's see if we can get some audio here. Let me know if you can hear the Hold on one second. I don't know why this keeps happening.
The Middle Eastern conflict with escalation after escalation. So Gutierrez's comments, though, come shortly after Iran said it did fire those dozens of ballistic missiles. We did get an update knowing that it was about 181 from the latest count. But let's go ahead and take a look here at this tweet that was also put out by the Israeli government. They said, "Listen to the booms. This is Israel right now." And as you're seeing there on your screen, this is raw footage there showing you what it was like as those missiles were falling over several areas there in the country, including that major.
Okay, so we're going to keep an eye on that. And hopefully we should get some confirmation. We're waiting for essentially what we're waiting for is this right here. We're waiting to hear what they're going to say. So we're gonna definitely come back once they start talking about that. Interesting thoughts from other pundits, specialists, etc. Oh, we got some breaking news. Okay, so we got some breaking news. Holy mackerel. This just gets uglier and uglier and uglier. Breaking news. So it looks like Israel plans major airstrikes across the Middle East tonight. Oh my goodness gracious. It just gets worse and worse and worse. My goodness. The Israeli military has confirmed that powerful airstrikes will be launched across the Middle East in response to ongoing tensions in the region, including Iran's missile attack today. Wow. Wow. I can't believe it. More collateral damage. It looks like we have some more collateral damage where it looks like Jordan now, the country of Jordan, is now reporting 2 minor injuries from falling fragments amid Iranian missile strikes on Israel. So the Jordan Interior Ministry has confirmed 2 minor injuries in various governorates due to falling fragments from objects linked to the Iranian missile strikes on Israel. Holy mackerel. So let's see if we can get some footage here of this. That's a fallen fragment. Oh my goodness gracious. So 2 minor injuries there. Now, you heard from the general who was speaking to Fox Now, who said that that Iran failed miserably. That there was hardly any casualties, and even though they don't have any confirmed reports, but now we're seeing here that Israel plans major airstrikes. So this is in direct refutation to what Putin declared. This is in direct defiance of Putin and China recognizing Lebanon's sovereignty and saying that Israel has no right to engage with, and they need to leave the area immediately, essentially. And so now they're planning airstrikes tonight, as early as tonight, for crying out loud. This just in. It looks like there was a missile strike documented falling in Tel Aviv. My God, that's a major, major city in Israel. Missile strike documented falling in Tel Aviv amid the Iranian attack. Footage has captured the moment a missile fell in Tel Aviv during the Iranian missile strikes on Israel. Let's take a look at this. Oh, wow. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Hold on a second. We got to see that again. My God. Oh, my goodness. So we've seen, how many times have we seen, so we've seen a couple of pieces of footage that have shown people just hanging out in their living room, hanging out in their place of business, hanging out in their home, looking outside, and literally within hundreds of yards, if not less, bombs attack. I mean, this is so unreal that this is 2024 and this is happening. I cannot believe this. Weak, feeble, inept, unqualified, DEI cocooned leadership. Kamala Harris, with Biden's own admission, is a DEI hire. They intercepted a lot of missiles. Don't get it twisted. They intercepted a lot, but they can only intercept so much. They can only intercept so much. And so it's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. Okay, so we got some more here. It looks like there was a deadly terror shooting attack in Jaffa. We have some footage of that. I haven't even seen the footage yet, so I'm watching it in real time with you, but it looks like footage shows a terror attack in Jaffa this evening. Excuse me, where two Palestinians, one with an assault rifle and the other with a knife, killed 6 people and injured 16 others on Tel Aviv's light rail and nearby street. The source is the Times of Israel. Goodness gracious. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. So Jaffa, where is Jaffa? My goodness. Jaffa's got to be underneath all of those pings somewhere. I just can't believe this. I just cannot believe this. And now Israel plans to engage in major airstrikes in retaliation. It's just going to be retaliation after retaliation after retaliation because we don't have somebody like Trump, a good negotiator, a good conversationalist, an amazing communicator, to sit down with both parties and say, hey, this has got to stop. How do we end this right now? What do you want? What do you want? Let's come up with something. Biden hasn't talked to Putin in over 3 years. Kamala hasn't even been to the border, except for that fake photo op in 4 years. You think the Ayatollahs want to deal with Kamala? You think Putin wants to get on the phone with Kamala? You think Benjamin Netanyahu gives a rat's ass about Kamala and vice versa? Of course not. She's just a puppet. Okay, we have some live footage now from the White House. Let me know if you can hear the audio. Can you hear the audio? Come on.
On the conversations and consultations we have
Thank you.
with our Israeli counterparts. It's too soon for me to stand before you today and give you an answer. What I can tell you is this. We are proud of the actions that we've taken alongside Israel to protect and defend Israel. We have made clear that there will be consequences, severe consequences for this attack, and we will work with Israel to make that the case. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Jake. Okay, on to the rest of the programming here. This morning, President Biden was briefed by his Homeland Security Advisor, Liz Sherwood Randall, on the latest impacts of Hurricane Helene. And this afternoon, he will receive an interagency briefing on the Hurricane Helene response and recovery efforts. At the president's direction, the Biden-Harris administration continues to use every tool available to get assistance and resources to the communities that need them the most. Yesterday, the president approved a major disaster declaration for Georgia, which will unlock additional assistance to help those recovering. This is in addition to the major disaster declaration swiftly approved by the president following requests from North Carolina, South Carolina, and Florida, as well as requests for emergency assistance across 7 states.
Okay, we'll come back to that. I want to share this real fast. So we kind of missed, I mean, Corinna Jean-Pierre is awful. She always wears the weirdest costumes too. So we'll come back to that. I want to see if we're going to hear from the State Department and then maybe Trump coming up soon. U.S. destroyers, check this out, intercept Iranian missiles. So the U.S. is definitely involved. The U.S. Defense officials revealed that destroyers in the Eastern Mediterranean successfully intercepted multiple missiles launched by Iran at Israel on Tuesday night. The officials spoke anonymously due to the sensitivity of the military operation. Interesting. Very interesting. We have some more breaking news here. I want to share this. It looks like Israeli channel Khan continues broadcasting from shelters. Looks like as Iranian missile strikes were targeting Israel. Let's see if we can actually see what this clip entails. So we can't understand it, but it looks like Israeli channel can, almost like their major broadcast. I don't know who that is, I'll be honest. It's a Hebrew channel. Continue its live broadcast inside shelters. Okay, that's very cool. Very, very cool. Again, if you're just joining us, about a couple of hours ago, Iranian ballistic missiles were launched towards Israel. The Iron Dome worked effectively. However, there's always a few that get through. And we don't know exactly what the extent is. We do know that apparently the missiles have stopped. So apparently they have stopped attacking for now. But this is really, really scary, which is that Israel plans to strike back with major airstrikes tonight across the Middle East. And so basically the Israeli military has now announced that the IDF will be carrying out powerful, quote, this is a quote, direct quote, verbatim, powerful airstrikes throughout the Middle East tonight. So it's just the beginning. We don't know how Russia's going to respond. We don't know how China's going to respond. We don't know how Iran's going to respond. We don't know how other organizations, Hamas, even though Hezbollah has lost a lot of its high-ranking officials, doesn't mean that they're, as an organization, they haven't already replaced all of those people. They could have. We don't know what kind of retaliation is going to happen. So this could be a full-blown escalation by the time the VP debate, which we're covering live between J.D. Vance and Tampon Tim, we're covering that live tonight. This could be a major escalation while that's happening right now, happening tonight, rather. Forgive me. Holy mackerel. If you can, if you believe in God and the Lord, as I do, as I know many of you do, I would encourage you, entreat you to pray for everyone, pray for all of us, pray for everybody involved in these horrific, preventable strikes, attacks, and war, and pray for all of us, because this is absolutely, it's absolutely unreal that this is what we're seeing in 2024, in a day and age where we're supposed to be experiencing major progress as humanity. We're supposed to have learned from the ugliness, the vileness, from the absolute degradation of war. We're supposed to learn from our mistakes. What happened? What happened? I would love to hear from you too. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Iranian missile strikes central Israel. Footage circulating now claims to capture a moment. An Iranian missile struck Israel this evening, which I showed with you earlier. So we're just keeping an eye on this. It looks like we've got live footage from Tel Aviv, which it looks like it's the sun is coming up. Earlier, you can see the footage on the bottom of that. Look at those missiles coming in. I mean, that looks like something out of a sci-fi movie. It doesn't look real, like a video game, for crying out loud. It's just so scary. So scary. My God. I guess Biden's not out of bed yet, so we're probably not going to hear from Biden. So kind of while we're waiting for this, I'm going to give some shout outs to everybody who became a new member of the channel. Don't forget, we're going to also be going live tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, for the vice presidential debate between J.D. Vance and Tampon Tim. Make sure you join us, subscribe, hit the bell notification to turn on all notifications. In the show notes and description is our free newsletter. Make sure you sign up for that. Mom of Three, thank you so much for the $1.99 super sticker and super chat. I appreciate you. Robbie Reeder, $1.99. Thank you so much, Robbie. U.S. taxpayers' money at its best in the air. That's exactly right, Robbie. It's tragic. Thank you, Wojo, for the $5 super chat. The Iron Dome has a 90% success rate. Thank you. John Lies, thank you so much for gifting one membership. Now, for all new members, just know this. You automatically get registered when you become a new member. Now would be a good time to join. Let me tell you just a couple of the benefits. You automatically get registered for our live stream giveaways that we do. I'm going to be doing another one. We've done a ton. I've given away thousands of dollars worth of hats, shirts, hoodies, Amazon gift cards, tons of Amazon gift cards. And you automatically get registered in our live stream giveaways as soon as you become a member. You get badges next to your name, live shout outs on the air. You get amplified comments, boosts when you engage, and you also get top priority, not only in comments and responses, but also you get top priority when we have guests on and we do live Q&As with amazing guests that we've had on our show. So you get first dibs to ask our guests. We've had amazing guests. I've got a ton lined up coming on the show that you get to ask questions directly on air as a member. On top of all of that, you also get access to our members only Discord. So this is the most thriving, engaging, collaborative Discord. Ask Laura Tilford, ask Yvonne Popovich, ask Jim Barron, ask Wonderlustful, ask Bernie, ask all of the people you see with green on their name and wrenches, blue wrenches. They will tell you the amazing benefits and the amazing members only Discord. You can join by going to our community tab. Once you become a member, you go to our community tab on YouTube, and there is a members only post with a link to our members only Discord. You get all that and a whole lot more. So I highly recommend, thank you, John, you becoming a member. Christopher Klein, thank you so much for the $5 super sticker. Ivan Popovich, speak of, thank you, Professor, unbelievable footage, World War III. It's scary. It's so scary. Very, very scary what's happening right now. And I just don't know what to say. Oh, you know what? We've got some live of, hold on a second. We've got live footage of President Trump in, let me actually share this instead. We've got live footage of Trump in, it looks like he's in, where is he? Is he in Wisconsin? I'll kind of see what he's doing as we keep an eye on. I'm sure he's going to say something about this. Thank you, Deplorable Predator. Holy mackerel. Kamala should concede right now. Yeah, she should actually be disqualified. I want to give a huge shout out to Wonderlust. Wow, Wonderlustful for gifting 20 Professor Nez memberships. You are absolutely amazing. Let's just listen in and see what Trump says real fast. Let me know if you can hear it.
To give up their position? No. I've never had anyone say yes. Someday we're going to meet somebody that says yes. Hello, Wisconsin. It's great to be back in this beautiful state with thousands of hardworking, great American patriots. We appreciate it too. And you know, we were up here on Saturday. We had a group, Tommy. I think it was maybe 50 or 60,000 people. And because we were not afforded the luxury of having enough security not because of Secret Service, but because of Washington, I spoke in front of about 700 people, and 50 or 60,000 people weren't able to see. And I think they still love me, but we have to make sure.
Okay, hold on a second. We've got word from the State Department. Give me 1 second. Let's see what the State Department says here. Hold on.
Bringing terrorists to justice, terrorists who have launched attacks on Israeli civilians. If you look at what Iran did today, we have been warning for some time about the threat posed by Iran arming and funding terrorist groups across the Middle East. And the attack today just demonstrated the danger of those actions. What you saw was Iran launching a state-on-state attack to protect and defend the terrorist groups that it has built, nurtured, and that it controls. So there is a difference between the actions that we have seen Israel take to defend its civilians and what we've seen
I'm not trying to suggest that they are equivalent. I just wanted to make sure that you didn't see.
No, we have certainly seen we've certainly seen Israel expand the nature of its attacks against Hezbollah, but it is a very different type of attack than what we saw today from a state actor against another state.
Okay, and then last one, and this has to do with Lebanon and the northern front. The situation there is, unstable and uncertain. I know that you guys have been asking Americans who might want information about assistance and possibly leaving to sign up on a form. Can you give us an update on the numbers of those and whether or not you're planning to I don't know, to do anything in the way of either U.S. government capabilities or charter flights or ferries?
Sure. So you're right. As we often do in these situations, we have directed U.S. citizens who are in Lebanon to register with the State Department for information, and especially for information with how to depart Lebanon, and we're providing them whatever information we can. We have had, as of today, around 6,000 American citizens in Lebanon who have registered with us for further information. To be clear, not all of those American citizens are seeking assistance with departing. People are just looking for information. They're looking for options. There are a number of American citizens who live in Lebanon who have lived there for years and do not want to depart the country. So in terms of the status on the ground, the airport is still open. Commercial flights are operating, although they are available at times at reduced capacity. We are working right now with airlines to provide additional flights with more seats for American citizens. It's something that we hope to turn on in the next few days, and we will be in touch with American citizens if and when we're able to expand that capability.
How do you ensure that there are going to be seats reserved for Americans?
Now, we're working with, I can't get into the details, but we're working with commercial carriers to ensure that capability. And when we have further information and we've locked this down, it's something we'll communicate directly with American citizens who've asked for information, and then I'll be happy to come and talk about it here at the briefing room.
Thanks.
Yeah, sure.
So given that the Secretary and the National Security Advisor just said that this attack by Iran is sort of definitively escalatory in nature, I know that you've been telling us, the Secretary even told us that for months you've been encouraging the Israelis not to respond to attacks and provocations in such a way that escalates anything further. Or is the Secretary going to continue to offer that same advice to the Israelis now in the wake of these missile strikes?
I'll say a couple things about that. First, of course, Israel has the right to defend itself, as any nation does. In terms of what Israel's response will be, of course, there must be consequences for Iran for this attack. We've made clear that there must be consequences. I'm not going to get into what those consequences are today, but there are things on which we will be coordinating with our Israeli counterparts. And I think in the immediate aftermath of this attack, we are going to coordinate with them on what any response might be. I think it's important that we are able to defeat this attack through successful work with Israel and with our partners, and we will work with them on what a response might look like, but I'm not at the position just 2.5 hours after this event occurred to offer what that might look like today.
The Iranian foreign ministry people have said that now that they gave the U.S., I don't know who, a heads up in advance of these missile strikes today through diplomatic channels. Is that true?
That is absolutely false. We had no kind of warning from the government of Iran that they were going to launch such an attack. Yeah.
Given, you're not going to detail what the consequences are going to look like yet, understandably, you guys are in conversations with the Israelis about that. Can you give us a sense for how U.S. officials are thinking about this right now in terms of magnitude of a response? Will it be more severe than the U.S. response to the Iranian attack on Israel in April, given your...
So I think it's too early to get into what the response might be. As I said, we're just a couple hours after this event having occurred. It's important that all of us inside the United States be able to take stock of the attack, be able to take stock of what occurred. As I said, there are initial assessments, but we need time to collect all of the information. And then we need time to talk with our Israeli counterparts, and we need time to talk to other partners in the region about the way forward. And we'll do that over the coming days. But it is clear that this was once again a significant escalation by Iran. When you see Iran launching attacks on another state, ultimately to come to the defense of a terrorist organization, it is an escalation, and Israel has the right to defend itself, but we will coordinate with them on what any response looks like.
How much more worried are you about a regional war today than you were in previous days before this attack occurred?
So I've gotten that question a number of times over the past year, and I never want to try and calibrate our level of concern, only to say, or other than to say, that preventing the outbreak of a full-scale regional conflagration has been one of our priorities since October 7th. It's something that we immediately identified was a risk after Hamas launched its brutal attacks on Israel, and something that we have been working to prevent. There have been a number of times in the past 12 months where it looked like we might reach such a conflagration. April 13th is one of them, quite obviously. And the United States, through a combination of deterrence and diplomacy, has been able to prevent such an outbreak of full-scale war. And we will continue to try and prevent an outbreak of full-scale war in the days and weeks ahead.
Just a few more questions. Is Iran's nuclear program a legitimate target for an Israeli response?
Again, I don't want to get into, and this is not to say that I'm ruling anything out and that I'm ruling anything in, but I would answer any question this way, which is, we want to have these conversations directly with our Israeli counterparts over the coming days. It's clear that this was an unacceptable attack. And as we made clear before this attack, there will be consequences for it. But I think it's appropriate that we discuss those consequences with our Israeli counterparts before we talk about them publicly.
Any other countries involved in defending Israel alongside the United States?
There were partners, as I said in my opening comments, who assisted in the defense of Israel. I will let all of those partners speak to their own actions.
And last question, is the attack over as far as the U.S. assessment is concerned?
Certainly this initial wave of an attack is over, which is not to say that there are other waves coming, or that there, is not to say that there are other waves coming. We saw an initial attack earlier today against the state of Israel. Certainly it would be incredibly reckless and would continue to be escalatory were Iran to launch further attacks on Israel, and we'll be monitoring in the hours ahead.
There have been a lot of parallels drawn between Iran's attacks on Israel we saw in April and what happened today. The big difference is that back in the spring, Iran did message for weeks the kind of attack it was going to carry out against Israel, as opposed to this time around. It seemed to be very sudden by comparison. That lack of warning, public messaging, do you read into that? Is there any diplomatic significance?
I don't want to try to make assessments about why Iran made the decisions it made, or why it kind of telegraphed them publicly last time and didn't do so this time. Obviously, we had some indication that an attack might be in the works. You saw us talking about that. We made clear, we gave warnings to our Israeli counterparts about it earlier today, and I think they came and read out some of those conversations publicly. So we had indications that there may be some such attack. I can't speak to why they made the decision to not telegraph it as publicly as they did last time. It doesn't change the fundamental nature of the attacks, which is that this was an unacceptable and brazen action by the state of Iran.
I know you want to have conversations with your Israeli counterparts about what their response will be, but can you say anything about, are the discussions happening now? Have Israeli officials laid out any potential options for retaliation?
There are discussions that are ongoing. There were discussions that were happening between the United States and Israel as the attacks were unfolding. There were discussions that were happening from officials in this building, officials in the White House, and I won't speak to the Pentagon, but I would assume by officials at the Pentagon in the immediate aftermath of the attacks just in the last couple of hours. And those conversations will continue through the rest of the day and, of course, in the days to come. Yeah.
Thank you. Matt, did the U.S. have any indication whether or not they were successful that the Iranians intended to strike U.S. interests or assets in the region?
I'm going to defer to the Pentagon to speak to specific operational details as to what the Iranians might have been targeting. They're obviously in the best position to monitor that and to speak to it. And I know they're having a briefing later today. I'll defer that question to them.
Okay. We understand that the embassy had all of its employees go home and shelter in place. Just want to confirm.
That was out of an abundance of caution, knowing that an attack on Tel Aviv might be in the works. And so we took that step out of Tel Aviv and potentially Jerusalem as well. So we took that step out of an abundance of caution. But in terms of what specific sites Iran was targeting, I will defer to my colleagues at the Pentagon.
Okay. In terms of the partners that you mentioned were engaged this time, without getting into specifics as to who it was, were there fewer partners? Was there less support for their engagement this time around?
I think that's still a specific. Maybe it's a generality. Either way, I'm just not going to get into it, other than say that there were partners that were engaged with us in this defense of Israel, and I will let every country speak to their own participation.
Okay, it's not a specific. It's just,
it's more specific than I'm willing to share at this point.
And just to clarify, I understand consultations are ongoing with the Israelis. What does the U.S. believe is the right course of action now, a response or diplomacy?
So again, I think it is important that we have those conversations with Israel before we read them out publicly. Obviously, we do not want to see this conflict continue to escalate. That said, we have been clear that there must be consequences for this attack, and I think it's important that we discuss this issue privately with our partners before we read them out publicly.
Okay, and in previous instances, it had become through in Gaza. That seems remote now. What is the status of ceasefire talks, either in Gaza or in Lebanon, that the U.S. had been pushing in the weeks prior to these developments?
It's a really good question, and I will say, I went into some of this detail here yesterday. Where we are on the ceasefire talks in Gaza is that the terrorist group that Iran funds, Hamas, has been unwilling to come to the table to engage. the past several weeks. So yes, it's true that we have not been able to advance these ceasefire talks, but it's not because of any lack of effort by the United States or our partners in the region. It's because the terrorist organization that Iran has sponsored for years and years and years has refused to come to the table.
It's because you're a terrible
if Iran,
negotiator.
Wants to use the
Who wants to
breakdown
talk
of
to
ceasefire
Biden or
talks as an
Kamala?
excuse for its actions today, it needs to point to the terrorist group that it controls. It's
Oh, you're
Hamas
awful.
that has been responsible in recent weeks
This
for the
is just
breakdown
a
of those
pencil
talks.
dick
Is it
admin.
your understanding that that
It's
was
like
one
the
of the
university.
reasons that they decided to?
No, I was responding
Okay,
to the
just-
to the question.
No.
Yeah.
Last,
He doesn't know
last
anything.
one clarification. I mean, obviously these talks require
What a
time,
crock of shit.
resources. It engages top U.S. officials. Are they still a worthwhile investment of the U.S.'s time when it appears that other parties are not?
No, look,
engaged
we
in
are going to, so we are not going to give up on reaching a ceasefire in Gaza because we believe it is the best way to free the hostages. It is the best way to alleviate the suffering of the Palestinian people. It is the best way to ensure long-term peace and stability for the entire region. So no, of course, we are going to continue to stay engaged on this, but in any kind of ceasefire talks, when you're talking about two parties to a conflict, you need both parties to engage. And right now we have a refusal to engage by one of those parties.
Sorry, that's Gaza and Lebanon as well, or have you abandoned this?
In Lebanon, so look, we ultimately do want to see a ceasefire. We ultimately want to see a diplomatic resolution. But as I said yesterday, we do support Israel's right to defend itself against terrorist organizations. Hezbollah has continued to launch terrorist attacks across the board, and Israel's taking steps to defend itself against those attacks.
Thank you.
And you mentioned there was, before the attack, that you weren't told by the Iranians that they were going to attack, but you had some indication. What was the indication? Was that sort of from satellites able to see things moving around? Are you able to tell us anything more about that?
So I am not able to tell you anymore, unfortunately. Obviously, you've seen all around the world before the outbreak of conflicts that the United States at times has the ability to gather information about what is likely to happen. That was the case here. I just can't say any more about it. But it was not through any conversations with Iran, direct or indirect.
Some small amount of intelligence was declassified so that you could make that warning ahead of time.
I'm not able to get into it any more than what we said publicly already.
In that period between informing the world and the Israelis that of this information, was there any effort to, other than the public statements, to reach out to the Iranians to say
they don't have negotiation skills?
I will answer that by saying we have made clear for some time that we have the ability to send messages to Iran when it is in our interest to do so. And without speaking to any messages in particular, we have made clear the position of the United States that Iran should not launch this attack, that it would be a mistake for Iran to launch
by
this
saying
attack.
don't.
And I think I'll leave it at that.
And I think the Iranian mission to the UN has talked about, they did send some message. I'm not sure whether it's before, minutes before, after
God
the missiles
help
were
this
launched,
country if this
is there
woman gets
anything you can
elected.
tell us about
God help
when that was
this
received
country
and sort of the
if
nature
this
of that
creature
message?
It wasn't received because that report's not true. I mean, it's just I have seen the statement from Iran. I saw first stories that they warned us in advance. Then I saw stories that they warned us shortly in advance. It's just not true. We received no advance warning from Iran about this attack.
Okay, and since the attack,
and sorry to interrupt. Sorry, I would just note that this is not the first time that Iran has said things about supposed interactions with the U.S. government and messages it has sent to the U.S. government that have not been true. They have done that a number of times over the last few months, and this is one of those examples.
You're saying up till now, up till when you took the podium, I guess there was no sort of diplomatic note from the Iranians explaining their action.
Correct.
Just to
Eva,
follow up
yeah.
on their statement from in the UN, they said that this attack in response to the violations for their sovereignty and also attacks against their nationals. Now, sovereignty, the attack on Ismail Haniyeh on their territories. Do you think this is a legitimate argument for them?
No, of course it's not. If you look at the supposed argument about attacks on their sovereignty, I will say first of all, that's an event that happened weeks ago, and what's changed in the weeks since then? You've seen the death of the leader of a terrorist organization that Iran sponsors, funds, controls. That's what's changed. And to the extent that any Iranian officials have been killed in the past few days in Lebanon or in Syria, it's because they were meeting with terrorist organizations, meeting with terrorist leaders. And it goes to the point I made a moment ago, which is what you saw Iran to do today was come to the defense of a terrorist organization. I don't think it holds water when you look at all the events of the past few weeks that this event had anything to do with Iran's sovereignty. It has to do with the fact that a number of the terrorist organizations that Iran has set up for years as a way to undermine and attack the state of Israel have been weakened, first over the past few months and then most recently over the past few weeks. It's quite clear that's what they're responding to.
Okay, and one question on Lebanon. I know now everybody is concerned about a wider war, about escalation, but also there are concerns about repercussions in Lebanon. I'm talking about the humanitarian situation, about maybe civil war at some point. So are you talking to the Lebanese? What are your concerns? What are you doing? Are you talking to the LAF? You've been supporting the LAF, and yesterday you were talking about stability and their role in the stability inside within Lebanon. Who are your partners in Lebanon?
So let me speak to first, you kind of mentioned on the way into the question, the humanitarian situation. We are working to address.
Okay, we're done with this guy. Okay, so I want to show you. First, I want to show you this because this is so important here. Hold on a second. Let me show you this. So I kind of flashed this before, and this is the Iranian president, Masoud Pezeshkian, who is saying that the missile strike is a decisive response to Israel. He emphasized that Iran is not after war, but we will retaliate in self-defense, is what he said. And so you heard the State Department, really quickly, I just want to address this. You heard the State Department essentially say, we've talked to them. They don't want to talk to us. Yeah, we've tried talking to Iran. We've told them not to. What? That abysmal, feeble, pathetic don't? Excuse me, Mr. Biden, what's your message to the regime of Iran? What's your message to them when they're thinking about attacking Israel? I'm trying to do my best Lester Holt voice. And here's Biden's response. Don't. That's his response. Boy, is that leadership for you, folks. If that's not leadership, I don't know what is. Crying out loud. I mean, I can't believe we've got a complete vegetable for a president. Now, before we were interrupted, I'm going to show you Trump's response in a second, too. Before we were interrupted by that, I want to share this as well. So, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan confirmed on Tuesday that the U.S. has not yet triggered emergency evacuations for Americans in Lebanon or the region despite Iran's missile strike. There's now confirmed that there's been new, there's new footage of Iranian missiles hitting Tel Aviv airbase near Tel Aviv. But there's also new reports coming in that there was a couple of people who were attacked at the Ben Gurion airport. And we have new footage of Iran missiles hitting the Israeli airbase near Tel Aviv. Let me see if I can share this real fast. Here, I'll share this real fast. Let's see if we can get some footage of this. Those are Iranian missiles that made it through the Iron Dome. Oh, wow, there's another one. My God. That's two. So that's new footage of airstrikes that were landing on Tel Aviv airport, if you can believe it. Holy macadamia nut. Absolute chaos, just absolute chaos. And don't forget, the Israeli Air Force and the IDF has said that they are going to be conducting major airstrikes, major airstrikes tonight throughout the Middle East, which is just absolute insanity. Let's hear from President Trump. I've got a couple of videos that I wanna share. Here's one right here of President Trump talking about these airstrikes. Let's hear what he has to say. Let me know if you can hear it.
Now is spiraling out of control. You might not have seen what's happened because it was a few hours ago. A lot of people were here. So many people outside, which we appreciate. But a lot of people were here a short time ago. Iran launched 181 ballistic missiles at Israel, and I've been talking about World War III for a long time. And I don't want to make predictions because the predictions always come true. We're not going to make, but they are very close to global catastrophe. We have a non-existent president and a non-existent vice president who should be in charge, but nobody knows what's going on. She was at a fundraiser in San Francisco, a city that she totally destroyed, by the way. San Francisco was the best city in the country maybe 20 years ago, and today you can't even go there. You can't even live there. And I speak against myself because I own property there. I shouldn't be saying that. I should say it's the greatest place in the world. Let's sell my property. But I say it's, I don't know, maybe it stages a comeback, but it's literally not livable. And 20 years ago, it was the best city in the country, probably one of the best cities anywhere in the world. But they, she was caught yesterday on an airplane staging a fake photo op. Did you see that with the telephone? The only problem is she didn't have the phone plugged in. She's talking on the phone. The phone is not plugged in. She's talking like she's working.
Yeah, I got the volume up at the highest. It's not me, it's the recording. So I apologize. If you can turn up your volume on your screens or tablets, that might be best. Yeah, it's not me. It's the. Okay, let's see if this one's a little bit. Let's see if this one's a little bit better. Okay. Let's see if this one's a little bit better.
Was president, Iran was in total check. The Iranians were starved for cash. Nobody was buying their oil. And they were ready to make a deal. They wanted to make a deal. They wanted to do something. And a terrible thing. We got more votes in the second election. As you know, we had 2016, 2020. We got millions and millions more votes the second time. And they missed by just a little sliver, right? Somebody said like 19,000 votes. It's just a disgrace. They're not going to be able to do that a second time. They're not going to be able to do that a second time. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris made Iran rich in a very short period of 3.5 years. They have $300 billion now. They're rich. I mean, they pay $6 billion every time they have if they have somebody that was kidnapped. It's always $6 billion. Whoever heard of that? Somebody else gets like $4,000. How much you want? Give me $2,000. You have anything? $6 billion. It's always $6 billion. With Russia, it was $6 billion. And they also got back their spy, the greatest spy, they say perhaps. He was a spy, but he was really more of an arms merchant. And the greatest arms merchant, the greatest buyer of military equipment, they say, anywhere at any time. They got him back. Well, we got our basketball player back. That was the track. Well, that is true. She used to tie her sneakers during the national anthem, right? And we got her back, and they got the best. And I'm not saying he's a nice human being, but he was the #1 arms dealer in the world for a long time. But Iran was on the verge of bankruptcy. They had no money left. They had no money for Hamas. they had no money for Hezbollah, the people they're fighting now. They would have been willing to make any deal. You could have made any deal, but Kamala flooded them with American cash. And even now, I mean, they're flooding them with cash. It's honestly, it's not even believable. It's like men and women's sports. It's not believable. It's like open borders. Why would they want an open border? It's so stupid. We're the party of common sense, by the way. We are I like to say it all. Forget conservative, yes. But we're the party of common sense because it's really more common sense than anything else. We want borders. We want fair elections. We want honest elections. And if you don't have those two things, you don't have a country, really. And we don't have a border. We had coming into our country in the last 3.5 years, more than 21 million people. And many of those people were people you do not want to have in your country. And we'll discuss that in a couple of seconds. But ever since Iran has been exporting terror all over the world, and it's been just unraveling. The whole Middle East has been unraveling. But of course, the whole world has been unraveling since we left office.
He's right about that. I want to share with you this real fast. Blinken, who is the Secretary of State, condemns Iranian missile attack on Israel. So that was President Trump that you just heard from. He's speaking right now in Waunakee, Wisconsin. Blinken labeled Iran's missile attack on Israel as totally unacceptable and urged the world to condemn the strike. He noted that around 200 ballistic missiles were launched and praised Israel for effectively defeating the attack. I don't know if that's, I don't know if you could call it defeating the attack or just doing the best they could to defend themselves. But that is a really, really interesting. Okay. Of the 180 missiles fired from Iran, most of them were intercepted, I apologize. And the IDF confirmed that around 180 missiles were launched, and the damage assessments are ongoing where missiles made impact. And Israeli officials stated that the military strikes across the Middle East will continue. That is foreboding. That is very, very scary right there. Again, if you just happen to join us, the Islamic Republic of Iran has launched a full-out missile ballistic attack on Israel. The Iron Dome did an amazing job of defending them. And even though there might not be a ton of quote-unquote damages, although, I mean, the psychological damage, I can't even imagine. Even though there, quote, might not be a lot of physical mortal wounds, etc., or deaths, this is a sign. This is a manifestation, my fellow Americans, of the weakest, poorest, most feeble, inept leadership I've seen in my beautiful country since 1979, when the last vegetable-in-chief was the commander-in-chief, Jimmy Carter. And we all know what happened after Jimmy Carter. Ronald Reagan won in a landslide. I say this with caution because I don't want anybody to become complacent. You literally have to drag everybody you know to the ballot box in less than 35 days. I can't even believe I'm saying this. Less than 35 days, the most consequential election of our lives. I highly suggest, if you just are tuning in, to watch the replay, rewind all the way to the beginning. I've got a ton of footage, ton of updates, ton of breaking news that you won't see anywhere else, especially in the mainstream woke media. Make sure you check all that out. And then definitely 100%, you want to make sure you subscribe. Tap that thumbs up. It's free. It takes you less than a nanosecond. Tap the thumbs up. But you want to sign up for our free newsletter in the description and show notes. And also click that subscribe button. Click the bell notification to turn on all notifications, because we're going live. Come watch the vice presidential debate. The reason the vice presidential debate is bigger than it ever has been is because Trump and Kamala only did one debate, which I still believe people think she won because she put a couple of sentences together. I still think Trump kicked her butt. But you have to watch this vice presidential debate, because this vice presidential debate, I think, takes on a little more significance than any other vice presidential debate. And I would be shocked if Vance didn't wipe the floor with Tampon Tim. But we are going to go live 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Come watch the debates with us. We have the best live streams on the planet. It is a live stream watch party, analysis, commentary, like-minded people, great live on fire chat. I hope to see you all there. I want to give a big shout out again to all of the amazing people who gave super chats and super stickers. Thank you, Bernie, for gifting 5 where I left off last time. Wonderlustful, you're amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, Bernie, for gifting 5 memberships. Skywalker DFS, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Just found you a couple of weeks ago. Absolutely love the channel. Keep telling the truth, and I will keep watching. God bless you. That's music to my ears. God bless you too, sir. Rion Van Ruyen, thank you for the 14 czar. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I honestly don't know what country that's from. God bless you. Thank you so much. I don't know what that currency is, but thank you so much, and I appreciate you being here, and I apologize for my ignorance. Please educate me. I'm happy to learn. Let me know in the comments. Thank you, Look Ma, for the $2. Nez is ubiquitous. You're everywhere. Yeah. 365-24-8. Your boy Nez works for you to give you the inside scoop, the objective truth. I do my own due diligence, my own qualitative and quantitative research with the helps of my brilliant wife, who's the best researcher on the planet. We're here to bring you independent grassroots media organization because we love our country. We care about our kids, our grandkids, our great infinity grandkids. I want our country to flourish for billions and trillions of years. And I hate seeing what's happening to it right now, because this autocrat, Kamala, this communist and Marxist, Kamala, wants to take our country into the gutter. We have to stop her. We have to get our country back. I want to go back to the America I was raised in. I know you do too. So tap that thumbs up before you leave. Make sure that you subscribe. We're going live tonight for the debates. I love you guys. Thank you. God bless you. God bless everybody involved in this conflict in the Middle East, both physically and psychologically. I'm praying for all of you. God bless all of you. And as always, may God bless America. I'll see